allowing people to register their businesses completely free without even like paying the registration fee to the state. Okay. So on InkFile is the other place where you can go. Normally, when you go to different places to register your business, they want a fee to do it for you in addition to the fee to pay the state. However, if you go to InkFile, they have 3 tiers. Pick the first tier and they will register the business for you for free. Okay. And InkFile, they can do it sometimes within 7 days. All right. So Melanie said it's still free. Okay, cool. Melanie said it's still free to register your business out in California right now. So get it done. Hurry up. Hurry up. Okay. All right. So InkFile, they're a service that can register your business for you. So those are the 2 ways that I personally like to register my business. And I know that even though I see a lot of people in the chat saying they have a business registered, shout out to you guys, because you do know that America favors businesses. And they will give you a $50K business loan before they give you a $5K personal loan. Yes, they will ridicule you to give you a $5K personal loan, but they will give you a $50K business loan easily. All right, we'll get into that. However, so even though you have a business registered, just make sure that your business is foundationally set up correctly, right? Let's say, for example, your virtual business address. That's the second item. I know a lot of you registered your business at home. Y'all, I know we didn't know better, but go update your business registration and don't let this be at your home address, because when you go out to go get funding, guess what? Who looks more professional? The person who has their business registered at their house, or the person who has a virtual business address, a corporate business address, right? That's why you can go to Opus, iPostal, Regus, or Grasshopper and get it from these places, okay? I think Opus and Regus is my favorite one, but they'll give you a virtual business address that'll make your business look more professional. And some of them charge way like a small fee, a small registration fee that you pay month to month. But it gives you a virtual business address that can help you get tons of money, okay? All right, so next you're gonna go get a virtual business phone number. You can also get that from Opus, iPostal, Regus, Grasshopper, and even a business phone with Verizon. They have a plan that's like $60 a month that they can grandfather you in. However, also do ask them about that service where you already have a phone and you have a phone number, and they can give you like another number that comes to your same phone. So that can be your corporate number as well. All right, it's like another virtual number. So ask about that. I think multiple different carriers do that. The other thing I want you to consider, really important, is I want you to go out and get a business email. All right. So I want you to drop that Gmail. The Gmail is very personal. So what I'm trying to do is, a lot of people go out and they try to get funding and they wonder why they don't get anything. We want you to fundamentally set your business up correctly from the jump. All right, because people who are giving you funding, they're looking at all of these, and you'll be surprised at the smallest thing that can get you declined. All right, so go out and go to get a business email at Google Workspace. I think it's $12 a month, and they will give you a professional business email. Instead of like hottie2cute@gmail.com, you're gonna get something that represents your business, like my email, support@sevenfigurehost.com. Right? It should reflect who you are, what your business is. Right? And it's going to be at your actual domain, business domain. So if your business name is, I don't know, celebrate.com, your email might be hello@celebrate.com, support@celebrate.com. I'm going to want to reach out to you versus the hottie2cute@gmail.com. Okay? All right. So next, what I want you to do, and I don't want you to overthink this, I promise. There's people doing this that have never, ever touched like website building. But I want you to go on Wix, GoDaddy, Squarespace, multiple places where you can go to build a business website. However, I will say this, if you are not sure, there's people on Fiverr and Upwork who can build a business website for you in about, some of them can do it in 2 weeks, some of them can do it in 1 week, and they can do it for $60. $60. They can build a whole business website for you. And all of this information that I've given you should be on your business website, because you know what? Your business website is your virtual business card. You can't be everywhere at once. So we're not going to be passing out this card. But what people will be doing, people like homeowners who you work with to get the property from them, they'll be looking at your what? Your virtual business card, your website. This is where all of this information should be housed. I promise you, I'm not just sending you out here to do anything. There's a method to my madness, okay? So get all of these things, and I want you to put it on your website. And so I know a lot of you are on here thinking like, dang, a website, that's going to be crazy. Literally, when I started, for those of you who watch SpongeBob, it looked like Doodle Bob from SpongeBob created my website. Okay, so don't overthink this. As long as you have the information on it, how you can be contacted and what it is you do. All right. Next two most important pieces of information that you're going to go out and get, it is your business EIN. You can go out and get that from www.irs.gov. It literally takes maybe 3 minutes for you to get your whole EIN number. Okay, this will help you to track taxes. And for those of you who are nervous about tracking taxes, stop trying to be sketchy. You should track your taxes, because when it's time for you to write off all the money that you've made from Airbnb, you want to keep most of that money in the end. Okay. And the only reason why I'm telling you to do this is when I started my business, I didn't have my business registered. So that hurt me in the end. So go ahead, register your business, grab your EIN from up front, and don't worry about, the IRS seeing you making money, because the point is you're going to be able to write these off. All right. You're going to be able to write off expenses. Okay. You can't write off business expenses if you don't have a business. Okay. All right. So the next thing you're going to grab is your business DUNS number. I love the business DUNS number. And listen, most everybody has a business DUNS number. Anybody who's anybody. Okay. Because your business DUNS number is going to be the number that we use to track your business credit score, which is also considered as your business paydex score. Okay. On the business side, we call it a paydex score. On the personal side, it's called your credit score. All right. So, and you'll be surprised at how quickly you can build business credit to start reporting. Okay. So people like, the big Walmarts of the world, they have a DUNS number. They go borrow money to start businesses, and they already have the money. So why shouldn't you? I hope you guys are not sleeping on yourself this year. It's 2023. It's 2023. If Walmart is borrowing money to start businesses, you need to be borrowing money to start businesses. That's just, hey, okay? All right, so the next thing you're going to grab, which is muy importante, very, very important, business account. Grab a business account, because I don't want any of you to be mixing your business funds with your personal funds. Don't do it. Don't do it, okay? Use a small local bank. That's personally what I prefer, right? So a credit union, right? Those are the ones that's going to have the best rates. However, if you partner with InkFile, like I told you earlier, if you use them, right? Alexa said, my hand is hurting from writing notes. If you partner with InkFile, they have a partnership with Bank of America, so they can go get a Bank of America account for you. However, I do recommend those local banks, because as I said, they're going to be the ones to give you the best rates. All right. So I like to use, just like I said, wherever you're located, look up what are they called? Your local banks are. Okay. So and especially if you can get into Navy Federal, get into Navy Federal when you can. All right. Okay, cool. So the reason why I have you set up all of this is not only because I want to put you in the best position to get the most yeses from homeowners when you go out to get their properties, use their properties, but also because I want you to be able to tap into business credit, right? And I want you to be the preferred person, right? So let's say, for example, someone came to me and they had all of this, and then another person came to me and said, hey, I just want to get your Airbnb and rent it to other people. I'm going to rent it to the person who's a business. We are not people doing this business. We are businesses doing this business. All right. Okay, cool. You guys got it? We are businesses. We are businesses doing this business. We are not people doing this business. Drop a thumbs up if you got it. I don't want any of y'all it's too easy to get a business these days for you not to. Think about it. When COVID was hitting, who were getting all the PPP loans? Businesses. Y'all know how mad I was when I didn't have my business registered? I'm getting the next PPP loan, damn it. Okay? I'm getting it. Okay? All right. Cool. Let's keep it pushing. So why register a business? If I haven't given you enough reason to, number one, it's easy. It's so easy that I have an 18-year-old doing it. Number two, it's a better way to access funds like business credit. It's called business credit for a reason. It's not called personal credit. Okay. Number three, it gives you tax write-offs. There's things that you can't write off on the personal side with a W-2 that you can write off from owning a business. So you get to keep most of your money. This is why I say, don't worry about making all this money and then feeling like you got to give it back to the IRS, because I'm here to tell you that, baby, no. Okay? No. All right. Number 4, you get more approvals when it comes out to you going to landlords to get these properties. Okay? More approvals. So this is why a business is foundational. Get it done. And the one thing you will notice about me is I'll plaster people all over these slides to show you that there's people doing it. People who never even knew that these things existed or how fast you can do it, right? Like Jamal, for example, he's photo number 1. Jamal said, okay, so I did a thing today. I got my DUNS number. I now have my LLC, my EIN, my business bank account, and a couple more business credit cards. Get it done. Jamal came to me and said, hey, listen, I didn't even know I could do all of this. Okay? Get it done. All right, cool. Okay, now let's talk about how much money you're going to need to get started, because listen, right? Like we have a business. Now we need to start making plays. We have a business. Now let's start making those plays. Okay. So let me let you in on a little secret, because this was a little bit of a trick question. You shouldn't really be asking anyone, right? Because now that you've been to this presentation, I want you guys to be better. So let's not say, hey, how much money do I need to get started? And let me tell you why. It's not a good question. Because when you go out to a person and they live somewhere very different than you live, they are furnishing their unit very different than you furnished. It's not a one size fit all, right? There's tons of people on here. It's not going to take everybody the same amount of money to find their to figure out how much they need to get started. However, I'm going to show you what makes the most sense. Remember how I told you that I was going from my two bedrooms in my house, and I needed to figure out how to scale up, and I needed to figure out how much money that I needed. So what I did is I came up with a tool that makes, listen, this tool is on money. Okay. I don't go out asking people how much I need to start. I find out by using this tool. And this tool is specific to me and nobody else. All right. So now you can't be mad when you go ask somebody and they tell you a number and that's not really what that number is. Okay. So I'm going to show you what that tool is. But first, here are some things that you need to consider before getting started. Number 1, your monthly rent and your monthly mortgage. You're going to be going out and getting these properties, right, that you're going to make money on. So you need to understand what your expenses are going to be. All right. All right, Paige, I see you. Shout out to you, Paige. Paige is already dropping the sauce, but it's cool, Paige. You're a go-getter. All right. And shout out to all my other go-getter bays that are on here, by the way. Okay. So utilities. You're going to consider utilities as well. Now, I teach ways to be able to keep your utilities down. Okay. But we'll get to that. Number 3, furnishing and decor. So now I will say this. Furnishing and decor, there are places where you can get units that are already furnished and decor. And I tell my students, don't do it. Don't get a unit that is already furnished and decor. Because what you can do is you can go into these units and you can decide and influence what it looks like, so that when it comes to you scaling and charging the most and doing XYZ, you know how to, you can do that freely. All right. You can do that freely. However, if somebody tries to give you a unit that's already furnished and they got some little funky furniture in there, and guess what they're going to do? They're going to put the furnishing costs on top of your rent or your mortgage. So you have to pay more. Don't do it. Okay? Because there's certain things that guests look for in a home that can also boost your rates. Okay? Because decor is at least 20%, I will say, of the strategy of being able to charge $1,000 a night. Okay. So just keep that free range for yourself. All right. Number 4, it's cleaning, right? You're running a hospitality business. You're going to have to clean this place. Now, let me tell you a quick little story. When I first started, I wanted to keep all the money to myself. And guests pay the cleaning fee. You don't pay the cleaning fee. Guests pay the cleaning fee. All right. So I'm like, okay, some extra money. I want to be able to keep this to myself. So I started cleaning the unit on my own. And one day I went down there to clean and I fell asleep, y'all. I was so excited. I was so exhausted that I fell asleep. Right. And you know who woke me up? The guest that was checking in, putting her code in the door. Imagine my face when I'm looking at the guest and the guest is looking at me and the house is all dirty. All right. Never again did I do that. Never again did I do that. I say pay your cleaners because they are a good part of operating the business. They're not taking money from you, they're taking money from the guests. So don't even think that like you're losing money. Okay. All right, y'all. I never cleaned a unit ever again in my life. If you have the time and you're really clean, because think about it, when you're traveling, people want a clean B&B. How many B&Bs have you been at where it's dirty and you're like, I'm giving them a 0 star, a 1 star, a 0 star if I could, right? So just pay your cleaners and let them do what they're good at, okay? Let them do what they're good at, all right? You just keep worrying about making the big bucks, all right? All right, so what I'm talking about is my profit calculator because we love profit. We love profit, okay? So this is why I say this profit calculator is specific to each and every single one of you, all right? Every single one of you. And so Paige dropped earlier that she grabbed the profit calculator. Just let me tell you how powerful this thing is. Or actually, I can show you better than I can tell you. Because so many people jump into Airbnb just like they see people saying numbers and they just jump into Airbnb not knowing really what they're doing. They haven't done any kind of research. They haven't don't do it. At least have a tool like this where, first of all, if you look at the top right, and this is broken down, I broke this down into about 6 different sections in terms of what's always been important to me. So number one is if you look at the top right, it says one-time startup costs. Right? What you guys can't see on the back end, Paige can see it because she grabbed the calculator. But what you can't see on the back end is there's actually a furnishing checklist. And so that furnishing checklist is pulling over into the furnishing checklist on the front, on the front end for the one-time startup costs, right? The next thing you're going to do is look at the monthly expenses, because when you have this unit, you have to think about your cable or your internet. And here's another thing. Do not give guests cable. I don't even have cable. All right. I don't even have cable. I don't. So I'm not using cable, and I don't see why these guests should have it at all. Guests they use streaming services. Okay. So when you give them a streaming service, they'll come in and they'll put in their Netflix. It's not even your Netflix. It's their Netflix that they're putting in. And so that way it works for everybody. Right. Even though I think Netflix went up on their price. One of y'all drop your Netflix password when you're done. Drop that Netflix account. Paige is on it. Drop that Netflix account when y'all done, because they're definitely going up on their fees. But you're gonna put in your utilities. This is where you put on all those things like rent. Okay? You're gonna put in your rent. However, the most important part of this whole profit calculator is gonna be your income, revenue, your profit, your break even. That's where we're at. That's where the real fun begins. Okay, so guys, write this down, because I know we're laughing a lot, but I want you guys, this is where I get serious. I don't play when it comes to my money, and this is where we get serious, right? Because you're not going to play when it comes to your money either. Okay, so write this down. Average nightly rate. Really, it's called average daily rate, right? So ADR. This is what you're charging per day. Okay, this is what you're charging per day, per night. So your average daily rate, what you're going to decide to charge on this unit when I tell you what things you need to use for this unit, or how you need to fix up this unit, or where you need to get it. Okay. So write down average daily rate. So on my 2-bedroom unit, I charge $398 a night. Okay. So that means that's my ADR. Now, the other thing you need to consider is average occupancy rate. That's the other metric that is just as important, if not more important, than average daily rate. Your average occupancy rate is how many days you're booked out per month, because there's no sense in charging $1,000 a night if you're only going to be booked out 1 day per month. We don't, okay? So average occupancy rate, that's what you want to look at, and that's why we study the market. So at 65%, this unit, 2 bedrooms, $398 a night, and at 65%, this was my first, technically my second unit, 2 bedrooms, $398 a night. At 65%, I'm making $7,800 off this unit, right? But that's revenue. That's revenue. Let's take out the total monthly expenses, and that's how we're going to come to our monthly profit, which is $5,498. Guys, let me tell you something. Do you know, when I explained to you earlier that I went to corporate and did all that crazy stuff, and I'm negotiating contracts and doing all the hard work? This one unit was paying me more than my salary. This one unit paid me more than my salary that I went through all that hectic back and forth for. One unit. I have 7 units. And this is my smallest unit. This is the unit where I charge $398. Okay? And this is the unit that is making me more money than I made in a corporate job that I literally had to stress out about. And this is when I decided that my corporate job, I'm just going to take those funds and invest it into my Airbnbs. Okay? My smallest unit, my most inexpensive unit. Moment of silence. This is why this made sense for me. Okay? So now that you're looking at your monthly profit, when you look at your annual profit, this two-bedroom unit makes me $65,000 in profit. We're not talking about revenue, because I don't care about revenue, okay? In profit. So the other metric that I would say is very, very important to me is break even. So when I invest this money, I want to know how long it's going to take me to make that money back, right? And so with this particular unit, it took me 2 months to break even on this unit. 2 months, okay? Only 2 months. So everything, all my operations going forward, right now, let's play money, okay? And this is why this made super duper sense for me. And this is why I say, don't ask people how don't ask people how much money you need to get started. Use a profit calculator and figure out the accurate number for yourself. Okay? It's good to be informed. It's good to not make hasty decisions and just jump because you see somebody doing something, you want to run and do it that way when you don't know how they ran the numbers. Okay? All right. Shout out to you, Paige. Paige was just dropping a lot about the profit calculator. So shout out to you, Paige. Wait. Let me see. Nadine said, I grabbed my Go-Getter bundle on the link page. I'm not sure. Nadine, what you can do is email me at support@sevenfigurehost.com regarding your Go-Getter bundle. Most people, when they grab it, some of them put in their emails incorrectly. So, but there will be a slide at the end for people to be able to contact me if they need some help. Okay? All right. Let's keep it pushing because we still have a lot to cover. Are you guys having fun? Let me know how you're feeling this information. And believe it or not, this is the boring part. Ooh, Elizabeth just said really good information. Believe it or not, it gets better. This is the boring part, but it gets better. All right. Monique said, okay, Monique is feeling it. Josh is feeling it. Kay said yes. All right, Liddy. Nice. Let's see. Okay, good. Alexa said her hand is still hurting. I know that's right. All right, so let's jump down into this information real quick because we still have so much to cover. The fun part, my favorite parts, okay? I can give you the real gems. All right, so daily breakdown. If you didn't know, now you know. This is what the basic math behind Airbnb looks like. So here is Shaw. These are actual people that I've worked with, by the way. Okay, so here is Shaw. So Shaw is out in Houston. She charges $150 a night, ADR. All right, so times 15 days. All right, so that means 15 days of 30 days. That means the occupancy is about 50%, right? For those people who are Airbnb hosts, you know that the weekends alone will take up almost 12 days, 15 days, because an Airbnb weekend for Airbnb host is about from Friday to Monday, 3 days. So 3 times 4, you have 4 weekends. That's already 12 days. Okay. So if your average daily rate is $150, which is Shaw's, and she's out in Houston, and she's booking 15 days, she's already making $2,250. Her rent is $1,500, less than $1,500. She's already made back her rent from just the weekend alone. Okay. She's already made back her rent from the weekend alone. And this is me saying low days, 15 days. But this is also Shaw at $150. Now let's talk about Stefan, the kid I showed you earlier. He has 2 units that he doesn't own. He makes the money from there and bought 2 houses, right? Stefan, listen, he's playing Monopoly. So Stefan charges $250. He's out in Ohio. Someone dropped that they were from Ohio earlier. So yes, Stefan is also out in Ohio, and he is 2 units at $250 a day. Okay, he's making at 15 days, he's making $3,750 from these properties. All right, guys, we're not even talking about like the early check-in fees. We're not talking about the pet fees. We're not talking about anything that we're talking about his basic nightly rate. However, sometimes people, they're like, what if I don't get booked? I'm nervous. Da, da, da. I tell you, do not be nervous, because if you play it the way that I'm teaching you, right? First of all, it only takes one person. Do we have any travel nurses on here? Let people know how y'all get paid to stay with Airbnb hosts. Let people know how they will give travel nurses. Actually, that's what happened to Stefan. He had an occupancy rate of 100%. 100%, meaning that he was booked every day in the month for 3 months, because he had a travel nurse stay with him for 3 months straight. Their company, travel nurses, their company give them a stipend to stay with Airbnb hosts, or to stay somewhere. However, if they're moving, because they're travel nurse, if they're moving and they want to stay somewhere for 3 months, they're not going to rent a whole apartment and furnish it. Airbnb hosts already have that. So they come to Airbnb hosts to provide that for them. All right. You see what I'm saying? See, a lot of people in here, guys, they're validating this stuff. Travel nurses are like 13-week contracts, Joshua said, right? So they're staying with Airbnb hosts. They're paying us the big bucks. All right. All right. So Jen Marie, let's talk about Jen Marie now. So Jen Marie has an ADR. Oh, first of all, let me back up a little bit. Jen Marie came with me, and Jen Marie came to me, especially during COVID. You guys, you travel nurses, listen, shout out to you guys and all nurses, because I know that COVID was so hard on you guys. But Jen Marie is a travel nurse, and she came to me and she said, hey, listen, like, I love my job. I love what I do, but it's kind of hectic. Like, I need to figure out something else. I need a backup. So she has a house, and she has a split level house. So it's kind of like 2 houses in one. So what she does is on weekends, she rents out her house $500 a day. I literally post things on my Instagram. Look through my stories, XYZ. Like, guys, I love the transparency. I love showing you guys this stuff, because people think I'm crazy when there's people literally dropping numbers, breaking their necks to stay with you, breaking their necks. But anyway, back to Jen Marie. $500 a day at 15 days. Jen Marie on the weekends alone, because she only does it on the weekend. She likes to stay at home. No one in her house when she's home. When she's not home during the week. So at $500 a day, she's making $7,500. $7,500 off of just having a property for the weekend. Crazy. Anyway, let's talk about you guys, because enough of talking about other people and what other people have been able to do for themselves. Let's talk about you real quick. Okay? What I want you to do is do this simple math with me. I want you to consider your rent or your mortgage wherever you live. Don't tell me the number, and divide that by 30. Dividing it by 30 days, because what we're doing is we're finding how much it's costing you to live in your house, your unit, your apartment, your condo, wherever it is that you're living. So take whatever your rent is, your mortgage is, and divide that by 30 days, and tell me what that number is. Drop it in the chat. I'm going to do it with you. Okay. Drop it in the chat. Come on, hurry up. I know y'all are moving fast. This chat is always moving fast. You guys are like my favorite group. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, your energy is so crazy. Your energy is insane. All right, so we see some numbers moving. $63 a day is what it's costing you to live in your unit. Okay. Let me see. $80 a day. I'm trying to see your name. Sally. It's costing Sally $56 a day to live where she lives. It's costing, let me see. I can't see. Oh, you guys are moving fast. $19 a day. LaShonda, I don't know where you live, but can I move in with you for $19 a day? Okay. $34 a day, $100 a day, $53 a day. Not Jamar on here saying homeless. Jamar, we're gonna move in with LaShonda because it's $19 a day to live where she's living. All right. So the reason why I have you do this is because I want you to understand that if it's costing you what, LaShonda, $19 a day, if it's costing someone else's $50 a day, ooh, somebody got that. Tony, don't stunt on us like this. Tony said his house is paid off. That means it's nothing but cash flow. All right. Okay. So Jazzy says $66 a day. The point is, if you have your unit on Airbnb for $150 a day, even on the weekends, you're already making profit. You're already making profit. So think about when you get to $250 a day. Profit times some, right? And for those of you who are like, man, I want to make $500 a day. I want to try this play, make $1,000 a day. Guess what? The possibilities are crazy endless. Okay? Crazy endless. So I say all this to say, personally, I don't care if you're coming in here to charge $150 a night like Shaw, $250 a night like Stefan, or even $500 a night like Jen Marie. The point is, get your piece of the pie. Get your piece of the pie. All right? There's too much money out here for you to be sitting down. And if there's people out here hiding, I literally was traveling on Airbnb, paying $250 a night to go into my Airbnb, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's a lot of money I'm paying out. I need to, and that's me. There's people who won't blink an eye, will pay that and won't blink an eye. Because the guy who canceled with me and I still got to keep $2,600, he never even asked me back for a refund. There's people out here that got the cash. And position yourself to be the people out here that are collecting it. That's all I'm going to say. Stop playing small. Okay? All right. Let's keep it pushing. So, one of the reasons why I like to do this exercise, and thank you guys so much for playing. Thank you guys so much. Matter of fact, we're not even playing. We're not playing nothing. This is vision. We're not playing. Okay? All right. So if you have 3 Airbnbs making $5,000 a month, and I show you an 18-year-old who's doing that, she's on to her second. Stefan, who bought a home from 2 properties that he does not own. Okay? So if you have 3 Airbnbs making $5,000 a month, that's already $180K a year. So when people are always saying, hey, I want to get to 6 figures, how can I make 6 figures? Making 6 figures such a big deal. You're bigger. You are bigger. This is what it takes to make almost 2 times 6 figures. Okay? But let's think about the people who are like, I'm going for the big pie, right? I want the big piece of the pie. If you have 10 Airbnbs making $8,400 a month, that's $1 million a year. $1 million a year has never looked so attainable to me. Has never looked this attainable to me. Okay? This is crazy. Because at 7 units, I wasn't even thinking about it like this. So when I saw this, you think then this didn't make me feel like, okay, it's go time. My students, they see I have 7 Airbnbs and they're like, all right, bet I want 10. Okay? So, and when you think about it, me at $1,000 a night, that's 8 days. That's 8 days. I'm just saying, sleep on yourself if you want to. Now, let's talk about the types of funding out there for your short-term rental business. Let's talk about it. Let's get into it. Okay? How are you guys doing? How are you guys doing out there? Let me know how you're doing. How's this presentation going? There's still a lot to cover. We ain't even into the sauce yet. I know there's some of you guys listening to this while you're at work. I used to do the same thing, so don't even feel bad. I used to do the same thing, so don't feel bad, okay? All right, nice. Morgan said, I'm energized. Juanita said, I'm loving the energy. I love you guys' energy. My favorite group. Let's see. Monique said, okay, Monique, thank you for the feedback, girl. I just want to make sure I'm showing up for you guys, okay? All right, so now let's talk about the funding available for your short-term rental business. Let's get into it. So I want to make sure that you guys have no excuses. All right. So we talked about business credit, and I set you up earlier as to get your business credit and foundationally to make sure they're not saying no to you. And so with business credit, there's 3 tiers I want you guys to consider: tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. Net 30 vendors, credit lines, and merchant accounts. Okay. So I told you guys earlier that when you start building business credit, first of all, I just want to say it took me 3 months to build my business credit, but that was me moving very slow. Okay. So it took me 3 months to start seeing my business credit report to nav.com. By the way, guys, write that down. NAV.com, nav.com. Okay. So nav.com, if you go on nav.com, they will show you, that's where you register, and they'll show you your business credit. They'll show you what that number is. So you know how you have your personal credit score go from 350 to 800 or 850? I ain't never been at 850, but to 850 or 800. A business credit score goes from 0 to 100. You want to stay between 75 to 80, I will say. But tier 1 vendor, this is what I want for you guys to understand, okay? A tier 1 vendor like Quill, it's kind of like a Walmart. So instead of you going to go buy toilet paper at Walmart, go buy it at Quill, because they'll give you 30 days to pay it back, and then they'll help to report that to your business credit, okay? Listen, you got to wipe your butt anyway. Use business credit to do it. You got to get toilet paper anyway. Why not build business credit while you're doing it? I was going to drop a pun, but let me not. My assistant will kill me. All right. So use net 30 vendors like a Quill. And you're getting things that you were already going to buy. Here's LaShonda dropping Uline on there. Right? Things that you were already going to buy. But I like to use the net 30 vendors that actually are geared towards Airbnb. Like I can get stuff from them that's putting towards my Airbnb. Okay. All right. Because there's some out there that I don't really find. Like I'm not going to really ever use this stuff. So I try to order things that I'm either going to use in my house or I can use in my Airbnb. All right. So tier 2 is going to be your credit lines. So this is when you start getting this is when you start getting your business credit cards, and you start pulling the first month's rent, last month's rent. You're liquidating your credit card. You're pulling money from your credit card literally to put into your business. Okay. The money, the cash flow from Airbnb, you're putting this back into and you're making points. I just showed my Instagram, people on my Instagram, that I have 1.1 million points, 1.1 million credit card points. You know what that means? And guess what? What did that translate to? I don't remember. When you're using your credit card, you're now making money off of using your credit card, right? From the business that you started, but also you now have money. You have points that equate to, I have $11,000 in cashback points, meaning that $11,000 I can now put towards paying my, paying the rent on some of my units, the mortgage on some of my units, right? Stop using debit cards. They have no value. Use credit cards. Listen, if you're going to pay for something, anyway, build credit while you're doing it. That's all I have to say. All right. I feel like I don't mean to be a parent, but I'm just saying, stop using debit cards. None of my students use debit cards. Okay. All right. So tier 1, net 30 vendors, tier 2 credit lines, tier 3 merchant accounts. Okay. All right, guys. I need some water. My throat is getting scratchy. So I do want you to understand that there are places where you can go by using your EIN and your LLC only to get funding. I have a list of 15. I'm going to give you guys 3 right now. One of them is Sam's Club. Sam's Club, if you get an 80 Paydex score, which I mentioned to you earlier, if you have an 80 Paydex score, and you go to Sam's Club in person, you have to go in person and apply. They will give you anywhere from $2,500 to $10K in business in funding. $2,500 to $10K in funding. Okay. Number 2 is the Charity Charge Card. Try it out. Number 3 is ClearBank. They move pretty fast, and that's one of the reasons why I like them. But that's 3 of my 15 funding vendors. Let's keep moving. We got a lot to cover. All right. Not too much, but enough. Okay. All right. Monique said, what is a Paydex score? I missed that. So your Paydex score is what you have on your business side. So instead of a personal credit score, you have a business Paydex score. So it goes from 0 to 100, whereas your credit score goes from 350 to 800. Somebody correct me. Is it 350? Is it 800 or 850? One of them. I guess that lets you know that I never had an 850. Okay. So non-conventional ways to fund your business. So I've already taught you about business credit. I'm going to tell you about partnerships. I don't want anyone to think that they're bigger than anyone, or, it's all about humility. And so I say, make sure that you can partner with someone to go into, leverage you guys' skills. So the one thing I do recommend, the one thing I give my students is a contract to work with each other, because listen, I'm big on contracts. If you didn't know, before I left corporate, that's what I was doing. I was negotiating contracts, writing contracts for lawyers. Okay, so don't get into anything without a contract. It's important to know what a person is going to contribute versus what a person is going to like what a person's contribution is and what they're getting paid out for. Okay, so I do provide a contract for any of you who need it. All right. So, and I did mention that I did partner with one of my students. So on that $398 a night, 1 bedroom out in Texas, that's a partnership with a student. So like I said, hey, you got to get there somehow. I have a student who she's out in New York and she has 5 units now. 2 of them was a partnership. 3 of them, she was able to use that partnership money and make and got the other 3 on her own. Okay, so she now has 5. The other thing is property management. Let's talk about property management for a minute. Property management for a minute, because everyone seems to think, if you've ever seen my ad, everyone seems to think like, oh, a property management license, I have to have a license, XYZ. Guys, this is short-term rental. This is not long-term rentals. I am not a landlord. I am a vacation rental manager. I am a hospitality manager. Property managing on the Airbnb side does not require a license. However, I will tell you to look up your state if you want to get into long-term rentals where you have people in your house for 12 months. I don't recommend doing that because it's not as profitable, and people can do crazy stuff in the house when you leave them in there that long. And that's why I prefer Airbnb. But no, on the short-term rental side, you do not need to have a property management license, because you're not even collecting the funds. Airbnb is collecting the funds and paying it out. You're not, okay? And one of the requirements to be a long-term rental property manager to have a license is you have to be the person collecting the fund. You're not going to people and saying, hey, paying your rent to me on time. No, you're not. Okay? All right. Shout out to you guys. Okay, so now let's talk about another conventional method for funding your business. And this is a non-conventional method. This is for the people who are 9-to-5ers. I just want to talk to you guys real quick. Take your 401k seriously. If you have a 401k, change it to a Roth contribution, because what this means is that the money that you're contributing will be 100% yours. Okay, it will already be taxed, so when you pull that money out, you're not penalized at all. I do know that there are some 401ks who are not penalizing people for whatever other reason. Just check in with your company, their HR department, or whatever you have, Fidelity, whoever, but just do a Roth 401k. I don't want to get too far into this, you know what I'm saying, because, you know, like, I'm not an accountant. However, there's a lot that, like, I know about 401ks and XYZ. Listen, when you're making money, you're being matched from your company for free. I had to tap into it 100%. And plus, I've used my 401k to contribute to one of my units before. So this is why I tell you guys to do it. Okay? If you already have it, do it, especially if they're not going to penalize you. Okay? So that's for my 401k folks. But one of the reasons why I like to talk about this is because, guys, I hate to say that it is easy, right? It's not easy but it's simple. And I do that. I tell you this not only by me doing it, by showing people showing you people who are doing it as well. For example, Ruth reached out to me and Ruth said, hey, I want to get some business credit. I want to get my unit and, you know, I want to start Airbnb. Ruth was able to do all of it in 2 months. So Ruth got over $50,000 in business credit, got her unit in the second picture. And this is youth with her first guest checking in. And she said, my very first review from our recent guest, she and 5 of her guests left the home spotless. The cleaning lady thought, you know, I cleaned up already. This is within 2 months. 50K in business credit, got her unit, and then now got her first review, her first guest staying in. This is how quickly this stuff moves once you tap in and execute the information. Okay? This is how quickly this stuff moves. All right? So for you guys that are on here who think that you can't do it or it's too good to be true, it's not. I can show you 100 other people like Ruth who are getting it done. Okay? As a matter of fact, I will. But anyway, you know, somebody dropped something in the chat, say, go shout out Ruth. Ruth was on this free live training and here she is now. Ruth was on this free live training and here she is now. So drop a congratulations, say shout out to Ruth. I will show her this after the call. But yeah, that's all it takes. You know, and I never want to say you can be I never want, oh, look, there's a Ruth on here. There's a Ruth on here. She said, I will get it done. No worries. There's a Ruth on here. You see, this is why I love this presentation, because listen, there is a Ruth on here and she's like, I'm going to get it done. So yes, this is Ruth. She was on the free live presentation just like you guys are right now. So the difference is what? Execution, taking the information and doing something with it. Okay. All right. Let's keep it pushing. So others like you who are getting it done. So remember how I told you guys about the thumb, what is it? What is it called? The Sam's Club play. This is people doing it, if you want to call my bluff, right? These are people doing it. So Aaron ran out and said, hey guys, I tried the Sam's Club play and I got approved for $2,500 just like that. Shanna said, okay, Aaron, you tried it. I'm going to try it too. Shanna's the 18-year-old. She's like, hey, I only had my business 2 months ago. She got approved just like that. Okay. Tatiana comes in and Tatiana said, first of all, guys, I didn't even know what business credit is. And here I am with my first business credit card in the mail with her name on it and her business name. We cropped that out because obviously, you know, got to protect them. But yeah, literally people getting it done. And if that's not enough, here's Erica, number 1. She got approved for $10K from Sam's Club with the 80 paydex score that I told you guys about earlier. People who are getting it done, right? Here's Ree at the bottom. Ree got approved for over $30,000 in business credit. Here's Angela in the middle saying, hey, I got an 80 paydex score. Here is D saying, hey, I got approved for $5K last month to put towards my Airbnb. Hey, Connie Lee saying, hey, I got approved for all of these. And this is why I say it can be done, so stop sleeping on yourself, okay? All right, I need some water. Ooh, all right, let's keep pushing. So here's 5 markets to start hosting in 2023 and 2024. But before I jump into it, I want you guys to take a guess, because I do know that some of you guys are in these markets right now. I'm going to give you 5 of my favorite 30 markets. Go. Drop something in the chat. Drop some locations in the chat, and I'll tell you guys if you're getting it right. I'm waiting. Okay. Christina said, drink some water. Yes, Christina, I'm getting thirsty. Girl, I'm getting thirsty. I see some of the locations being dropped already. Nice. All right. Ooh, y'all move fast. I can't even say the location before I say your name. Sedona. Where's Sedona? That's somewhere I don't know. Damn, I'm trying to get you guys' name. But you guys are moving so fast. Really good guesses, by the way. And let's get to it. Best markets to start hosting in 2023 and 2024. Number 1, Arizona. These don't go in any specific order, by the way. Phoenix, Arizona, Austin, Texas, Savannah, Georgia, Charlotte, North Carolina, Las Vegas. But I'm also going to give you guys another freebie. It is Nashville, Tennessee. Nashville, Tennessee is a really, really dope location. Okay? A really dope location, because Nashville, they have way too much travelers and not enough hotels. So they have to stay in Airbnbs. And there are people who just prefer Airbnbs over hotels, because who's going to pay $120, $200 to stay in a hotel? I don't get no parking. I don't get, no extra rooms. My friends can't come over. No, nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? So yes, these are 5. I actually gave you 6. 5 of the best locations to start. I'm giving you 5 of 30. One thing I will say is, obviously, right? People are like, well, what about my location? What about my location? I'm going to give you some information to decide on, your location. However, right? I want you to think about this. You don't have to do this in the state where you currently are. You can spread your wings. There are tons of people doing it for their first unit, and it's not in a state. It's not in a state at all where they are, where they're currently living. So here's a couple things that you need to be able to run an Airbnb business out of state, right? There's, however, for 1,300 people, almost 1,500 people on here. So what you can do is, 1, when you get your cleaner from places like Offer, Facebook, Thumbtack, TaskRabbit, right? When you get your cleaner, because remember, like I said, they're some of the most important people to the business. You're going to make sure, ask your cleaner questions to say, hey, if a toilet breaks, can you fix a toilet, right? If anything small, can you fix that? Because what you're trying to do is get a 2-for-1 special. You can get a cleaner who can also fix things for you, because guess what? If you're not in state, your cleaner almost acts as a property manager, right? They're going to be the ones that's going over to the property the most. They can take before and after pictures and send it to you. When you send them a cleaning checklist to make sure that they're checking the right things. The cleaning person is your best friend. They're going to know the unit more than you, okay? They're going over there more than you are. So your cleaner is going to be your best friend. All right. So that is what I recommend doing. Going on TaskRabbit to find a cleaner. They're some of the best cleaners that you will ever find on TaskRabbit. Okay. All right. Let me see. God, I don't want to mess up this person's name. Is it Q? Q? Says, my friend Airbnb in Nashville, I'm hosting Whole House Sleeps 10 at $1,500 a night. Let the free workshop say amen. I'm just saying. But a lot of people think that I'm just making this stuff up, right? But anyway, let's talk about how to test your current market, as well as what makes a good market. We're going to get into Q&A soon. All right? All right. We're going to get into Q&A soon. So here are some tools that you can use to test your market, because like I said, data is important. And I want all of you guys to go into locations and use data tools that are going to give you accurate numbers. You're not going to, gone are the days where you see somebody doing something and you just want to be a part of it so bad that you don't think and you just go run into something. No, we're not doing that. Okay? That's not how I do things. That's not how my students do things. And that's not how you're doing it. Okay? All right, so AirDNA, that's one of the tools where you can go and find your average daily rate that I talked to you about. However, I will tell you one thing. When you go on AirDNA and you're looking at the average daily rate and you see people charging a little bit of money, I don't want you to think that that's what you're going to go in there and charge. That $150, that $250 a night, I want you to understand that I'm having you look at these people and what they're doing, not because they're real true competition, but because you want to get a baseline of what they're charging, because my people and myself, we come in to charge way more, and we just need to scope out the competition, because there's so many hosts out here who don't know what they're worth. So they end up bringing their prices all the way down, right? All the way down. So they might be booked. They might be. And guess what? There are people who I will see a cheap Airbnb and I'm like, I'm not going because it's too cheap. Literally, there's people who operate that way. Okay. So there's a lot of people who will think, okay, this is too good to be true. But just to give you an example of this illustration that I'm talking about, my 2-bedroom is a townhouse, and it's connected to a lady that has a 3-bedroom. She also does Airbnb. She charges $175 a night. I charge $398 a night. One of the strategies I use is knowing my worth. She goes, right? She goes and she puts her unit at $175 a night. She was booked out 4 months ago. So what happens is when a traveler comes to see my unit to look at travel dates they want, that lady is not even my competition. That lady is not even my competition because she doesn't even pop up as an available host to book with, because she already is, putting her unit so low, and her unit looks good. That's the crazy thing. Her unit is in a good location and she has it down at $175 a night. Meanwhile, here comes me. Hey, $398 a night for a house that is 1 bedroom smaller, right? So for me, that's one of the simple thoughts behind why a host will be charging that much, because they're worried about being booked out 100%. When if I'm charging $1,000 a night on the weekend, I'm making way more than you are off of 2 days that you make in a week and a half. Because there's some people who are out here working a lot harder to make that money, when you can make that money off of days that people are going to travel into anyway. Right? And you can keep your utilities low because people aren't in your house. There's some people out here that are so worried about being completely booked out that they don't care about the fact that they're working so hard. And the reason why they started this was to not be working hard in the first place. You're looking at a market. When you think about average daily rate and average occupancy rate, there can be a person charging $500 for 3 days and you charging $200 for 4 days, 6 days, and it's still the same amount of money. Anyway, let me keep going because I don't think y'all are listening to me, but let's think about MatchAdvisor. MatchAdvisor is another tool where they have, you can get average average occupancy off of Mashvisor. They have a 7-day free trial. Go ahead and try it out. But you can also go on Airbnb and look up different locations as well around you. But like I said, we're not looking at the market to be able to charge what these people who don't know what they're doing are charging. We're looking at the market to see, what do you got going on over there that I can make way better? Okay? All right. So anyway, I do want to tell you guys about this tool. I don't play when it comes to this tool. This is the tool I use. This is the tool that my students use. It is a community exclusive. But let me tell you something. This tool trumps all three of the other ones. All three of them. When you're talking about getting into this market, this tool has every single thing. Okay? Every single thing that you should be, every single thing that you should be checking off of your checklist before you go into a market. And let me tell you what I mean. Because like I said, I can show you better than I can tell you. All right? All right, let me show you this tool. Boom. So this tool right here, it's asking me to put in, am I looking for a place that is STR friendly? A market that is STR friendly, meaning it's short-term rental friendly. Am I looking for a place that does arbitrage, meaning that a homeowner will let you rent a house and third-party market it on Airbnb? Am I looking for a place that does have a license required, or do I want to go somewhere that doesn't? Okay. Out-of-state hosts are out-of-state hosts welcome, meaning that you're doing this from out of state. Are you welcome in this location? All right. So it even sets apart the regions, the destination type, even the market size. This is what you call market research. Okay. So this is what the inside of the tool looks like. I'm giving you guys a quick little sneak peek. I think this one is for Gatlinburg. Okay. So Gatlinburg, Tennessee. For those of you who know about Gatlinburg, Tennessee, most people are traveling here for cabins. They're not going here to stay in hotels. But this is what the market looks like. When we pick back Gatlinburg, it tells me one of the most important information, which is 15 million travelers are going here per year. If you're in the hospitality business, don't you think you want to know how many people are traveling there per year? Right? You want to know what the foot traffic is going to be like. Hold on, wait a minute. I didn't even tell you guys. Oh my gosh, y'all, I'm moving so fast. I didn't even tell y'all. Okay, we'll get into it. We'll get into it. Okay. All right. Let me scroll down so you can see what I mean. It's telling me that Gatlinburg, right? Most people are coming here not to stay in hotels. They're coming here to stay in cabins with their friends. So at Gatlinburg, you're finding cabins at $1,098, $99 a night. But the more important thing than the $1,000 a night is the occupancy. 73% of the month is filled with an occupancy of $1,000 a night. This is what you use to look up a market, guys. It literally has everything that you need. So much so, it's telling you the hotel nightly median price, right? So it's literally telling you your competition, even though hotels aren't the competition. It literally tells you if the water is safe to drink, if there's nightlife out there. It literally tells you every single thing that you need. And this is why I use this tool. This is why I use this tool with my students, because there's some people, first of all, like I will say, there's some places or people, listen, AirDNA is good, Mashvisor is good, but me, I'm the kind of person who I want one tool that can give me everything, okay? And that is why we use that tool, because I don't have time to waste, okay? All right, let me see. Where am I? All right, we're about to wrap soon, but there's still a ton of important information. Oh, so this is why, like I said, I show you people who are doing it all the time. This is why running the numbers is so important. If you're looking at the person in the middle, right? Kayla, first of all, Kayla came in and Kayla's like, listen, I want my first Airbnb by my birthday, by my 19th birthday. So the 18-year-old that I showed you guys earlier, she brought in another 18-year-old. Like, she told her about, like, hey, join Airbnb, do this. Like, Airbnb taught me how to do this, and I'm making a killing. So the reason why I tell you guys to run the numbers, because I always had them run the numbers too. So she ran the numbers. When most people think the hard part is getting a yes from homeowners, it's not. It's not at all the hard part. So Kayla came in and she ran the numbers. She's like, listen, I'm getting yeses from left and right. She's getting yeses from left and right. Okay. But the issue is not the yes. The hard part is not convincing the homeowner to do Airbnb. It's the fact that she said, hey, profit was $500 a month on this one. I don't want this unit. And I told her, okay, great. On to the next unit. I see some people are asking, what's the last tool that's giving? Guys, if you're interested in the tool, just stay until the end. Okay. But yes, that's a tool that I use for, like, That's a tool that I personally love, 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 love. And I love that a lot of you guys are interested in it because, yeah, we're not here to waste time. But like I said, AirDNA, Mashvisor, those are other good tools too. And Mashvisor, just make sure that you cancel after 7 days. All right. But like I was saying, Kayla came in and she's like, it's $500 a month profit. And I told Kayla, no, that's not good property. We got to keep moving. Right. Kayla said she wanted her first property on her birthday. She got it. Her 19th birthday, she has an Airbnb. She just got her first booking, right? I'm giving her a coaching call just to show her how she can like bring up the price and continue to do the things. We literally brought her friend up from $150 a night to $398 a night. If you guys notice, I like to end in 8s at the end. Okay. But anyway, let's keep pushing. So what makes a good market? All right. What makes a good market? I'm trying to give you guys all this information. What makes a good market? 4 things I look at when I go into a market. International airports, right? Such as Atlanta. Atlanta has one of the biggest airports. That means the foot traffic in Atlanta is crazy. Okay. However, there's a lot of people who think that they have to go downtown to be able to charge a lot. None of my Airbnbs are downtown, first of all. So we'll just get that thought out of the, I'm here to make money. I'm not going to go and get the most expensive unit to make money. No, downtown is where you'll find most expensive units in an area. I stay in areas that are more like around an international airport. So those are going to be more industrial areas. So that means the rent is going to cost way less. And that means that people are going to be in the middle of the path of more travel, which is between downtown and the airport. So you get a unit like right here, okay? Because now travelers, that's in the perfect path for travelers, all right? Family attractions are also going to be great. Family attractions are, okay? Military bases. Do we have any military people on here? Shout out to you. Thank you so much for your service. Because military bases, if you think about it, they're also in another industrial area, but they're graduating like every 2 weeks. They don't have good hotels out there. How many people drove past a military base and saw how crazy, you know what I'm saying? So what we do is we bring Airbnbs out there, and their families are staying with us. Their families are staying with us. You know what I'm saying? That's where their families are staying at this point. Okay. Number 4, party cities. For me personally, people think that party guests are bad. They're not at all. As long as you screen your guests and you let them know that you mean business. My guests don't mess with me, first and foremost. All right. I screen all of my guests. But when most party guests, they're coming in so that you can, they're coming in and going out into the city. So most times they're not even staying in the unit. They just want to come somewhere to put down their heads, be able to take pictures, be able to have a good time with their friends, but they're going into the city, right? And then one of the other spot that I will put, which I mentioned earlier, are travel nurses are really good people to cater to. So you want to stay around those hospital areas, right? Travel nurses are good people to cater to. Those are the ones that are going to be staying in your units for 3 months. And so go next to a hospital. Go next to a hospital. Okay? These things that you guys are listening to right now is why my students' calendars look like this. Fully booked out. Okay? Margaret started, and in 3 days, her calendar was already ate up. All right? Had never got into Airbnb. Shaw, that I mentioned to you earlier. Shaw is like, oh, this is supposed to be when it's slower. This is what my calendar looks like. Okay? These are what calendar looks like if you guys just follow the blueprint. Follow the blueprint. Let's continue to move through. All right. So 5 ways to acquire properties in your Yes Scripts. Let's look at it. This is the ladder that I personally like to follow. And this is what the ladder that I recommend you follow as well. Rental arbitrage, corporate lease, subject to purchase, build. Okay. There's something for everyone. Rental arbitrage is when you're going to a homeowner and you're saying to this homeowner, look, right? I want to use this property for Airbnb. Obviously, you don't say it like this. This is why I'm teaching you how to use the Yes Scripts, the professional pitch, because you're a business. But you're saying, I want to use this house for Airbnb. And what you're going to do is you're going to pay the rent and you're going to be able to make the Airbnb money. The Airbnb money is yours. Okay. Number two, but obviously there is a method to the madness in how you deliver that information in that pitch. Number two, corporate leasing. This is when you're going to apartments and you're saying, hey, look, I want you to be able to use this property. Same jazz, but it's an apartment. Subject to, for those of you who don't know about subject to is when you can go to a homeowner, right? For whatever reason, they may be ready to leave the house. You'll be surprised how many people are. How many people I've taught to use this deal, right? Subject to is when you go to a homeowner and say, hey, look, don't have good credit, don't have money down like that, right? But subject to me paying the mortgage, you're going to give me the deed of the house. The deed of the house is equivalent to the title of the car. So the title of the car shows that you own the car. The deed of the house shows that you own the home. So this is how you can get a house fully yours without ever having gone through, hey, having to have good credit or having to put a down payment down, a huge down payment down. Subject to, if you don't know about it, jump into it. I'm telling you, this is crazy. This is crazy. A lot of investors don't tell you about this. This is like one of the golden methods that you can use. All right. And we have, there's a person in my community. She does subject to loans, and she also does, when you go into purchasing, she gets people approved with a 500 credit score. Okay. Guys, I want you to think about this. There's people out here charging per day what their mortgage is. Per day what their mortgage is. So if you're still at a point where you're like, hey, I don't want a house. Will you want a house when you know that you can make when you know that it can pay for your salary? Will you want a house when you know that it can take care of you and you can? There's people who come to me and like, oh, I don't want a house. Now they're getting houses that they don't own and buying houses because now they see it as a cash cow, right? And let's talk about building real quick, because I know some people might be overwhelmed by this, but don't. There's a guy that built a tree house with his own hands in his backyard, and it's the #1 property on Airbnb right now. Go look it up, right? I tried to book it. He's been booked out to 2024 since the end of 2022. He charges $398 a night. So you tell me the math on that. He has 100% occupancy. That man is rich. He's eating from an Airbnb property. One, that's a tree house that he built. It's in Atlanta. Okay. LaShonda said house builds equity. Yes. So the cool thing about houses is you're building equity, right? So one of my properties, right, the one that I was able to buy, I bought it for $150. It's now worth $320,000. So not only did I make money from it from operating Airbnb, I can also make like an extra $100,000 from just selling it. And this is why I tell people, like, you might be nervous to purchase, but would you purchase when you know that you can do it with a 500 credit score? There's someone in my community that can approve you with a 500 credit score. Guys, it's crazy. So this is the ladder of success that I want you to follow. Let's say, for example, that you want to get more properties, and also rental arbitrage and corporate leasing is a good way to scale as well. But follow this method. Use properties you don't own to get properties that you do own, and ultimately be able to get a unique build like a tree house. Okay, all right. That tree house looked like they didn't. You can literally make in 3 months what it takes to make that tree house from Airbnb. But anyway, this is me showing you guys property acquisition from people doing exactly what I'm telling you to do. So if you don't want to listen to me, I'm gonna be really upset. No, seriously, you'll be upset with yourself. However, what I'm saying is, here's people doing the same thing that didn't know anything about what I'm talking about right now, that joined the free line training, sitting where you're sitting and getting this done. Here's Ryan, who said, listen, I got my first property last month, and within a 1 week, I was able to make profit, $2,000. It paid off my rent, and it gave me some profit. Right? Crazy. Why people don't know about Airbnb, it makes my heart sad. Anyway, so these are just some other people getting it done. I'm doing this to inspire guys and to show you guys. And one of the other things I say, right? I do things to inspire people, but I will never convince you to make money. I would never convince you to make money. You should be convincing yourselves. And once you've convinced yourselves, I can help you. I can teach you. But I'm not here to convince people and twist their arms to make money. That's for you to do. Okay? You decide whether or not you want to be here. Guys, you showed up today. There's a lot of people who registered who didn't show up today, right? Well, some of them reached out to me and let me know that they had to work. I can't blame them, right? Well, hopefully next year they'll be working on their business. This year, actually, not next year. But shout out to you for being here, right? Because your future self is going to thank you. I promise that. Okay? All right. So here's Melinda. Melinda said, I got my first yes, right? She's telling me I got my first yes. Literally the very next day on her property, she got, no, not the very next day. The next week, she said, hey, I'm back with my second property using what you taught me. I'm back with my second property. Okay? I'm back with my second property. And guys, please refrain from dropping emails in the chat. As I mentioned, you will be kicked out for that. Okay? But there will be an opportunity at the end for people to network. All right, so here's Shonda as well. Shonda said, hey, I got my first unit the very next day when I listed it. Ooh, Taisha said, that's my aunt. It's a small world. Anyway, so here's Shonda. Shonda said, I got my very first unit. The very next day, she listed her unit and she got a 4-day stay, 4-day booking using what I'm teaching these people about how to get their units ready. Okay? All right? If there's people doing it, people who are like, hey, I'm scared, I'm nervous, but I'm going to try it. It hurts you none to try. But to not try means that you'll be in the same place. That hurts you more. Okay? Do whatever you got to do to try. Anyway, so here are three ways to find properties for hosting. Okay? You can go on Zillow. A lot of people use Zillow to go find properties, and I'm not knocking it. However, I will say this. There's a lot of people using it. But for me, I like to work. If you haven't learned anything about me, I like to work smarter, not harder. So I go on places where I know people are a little bit more desperate and I target them instead. Let's say, for example, like Facebook Marketplace. If somebody's putting a house on Facebook Marketplace, they're a little bit desperate to get that thing off their hands. Okay. But I will say this, be careful when you go on Facebook Marketplace because there is a ton of people on there who might just be looking to scam people. You know what I'm saying? They might just be over there looking to like, just be weird. So just be careful. Co-host market, though, if you go on co-host market, for those of you who don't know what a co-host is, a co-host is not a property manager. They could be, but a co-host is a person who, let's say you have an Airbnb host and you go on their Airbnb account to see all the requests that are coming in and you're responding to the requests that are coming in. By the way, I didn't mention this earlier, but as an Airbnb property manager, you can get anywhere from 10 to 35% for managing somebody's Airbnb, right? So that's another way to get into the business. Same thing with a co-host. You can get up to 20% for co-hosting on somebody's Airbnb. So it's kind of like you're the assistant. You're responding to emails, you're talking to the guest, all of that with what they need. You can get 20% off of what they're making. So that's a good way to build up money and build up your reserves. Okay. All right, cool. Nice. So for those of you who are here for the Thumbtack hack, let me just tell you something about the Thumbtack hack. One of my favorite hacks, period, for finding properties. So I use Thumbtack because it is a service where you can find contractors, you can find people who are doing things, right? Like a cleaning lady, kind of like an Angie's List. Okay. So I use Thumbtack a lot. So I went on Thumbtack and I'm like, this area, the property management area, remember with a short-term rental property management is very different from a long-term rental property management. So I went on there and I'm like, oh, I want to see what this section is. It's just my curiosity. That's just the kind of person I am. I will be the person to find out everything. I love Airbnb. I love what I do. I'll find out everything and then I'll go back and tell people about it. Right? So I went on Thumbtack and I created my profile. And under the property management section, all these homeowners started reaching out to me. So I said, instead of putting your property for long-term rent, I pitched them the yes script. I pitched them the script where I tell them about Airbnb and me renting the property from them or to become a host. And, let me tell you guys this, because this is a big elephant in the room, because some people still don't understand why homeowners choose Airbnb host over regular tenants. And I'll give you 3 reasons why, 3 solid reasons. 1, we make money, so you never have to worry about your rent being on time, right? There is 0 vacancies because we are the ones renting it from you. We're the ones renting it from you. So there's 0 vacancies. Okay? 2, we are not squatters. There's a person that can come in your house for 12 months and they're going to put a hole in that wall. You're never going to know what that house looks like. You're never going to see the house in good condition, right? With an Airbnb host, we have people coming in and out. You have access to that property, right? Instead of guessing at the end if your house is still in one piece or if it's not. But Airbnb host, there's a $2 million insurance policy on every home that Airbnb gives us, right? To protect the home, to fix anything that is broken. So when my guest broke a window accidentally, right? I got Airbnb to pay for the window, but not only that, I got Airbnb to pay for the 3 days that I couldn't book the property, because of the guest. You see what I'm saying? So I'm making money from every single way possible. So if you think about this, on homeowner, our Airbnb host, our business is to make sure that your house is safe. So a homeowner is going to lean towards us because guess what? We're making money. We're going to pay that rent. It's not going to be a problem getting us out of the house. It's going to be a problem when you got to go to the courthouse and get a long-term rental tenant who you've had in that house for 12 months who won't leave. All right? So when you tap into these yes scripts and you pitch to a homeowner, right? They're going to be more likely to talk with you. However, one of the reasons why I love Thumbtack is I get inquiries back to back. Now you do have to pay a fee to use Thumbtack. However, as I said, stay until the end. I'm telling you guys a good reason to stay till the end because I do have a code for Thumbtack for those of you who do need it, right? For those of you people who need the Thumbtack code, there is a code where you don't have to, the leads will be reduced, right? So I love Thumbtack because literally here's this homeowner or this person saying, hey, I'm looking for someone who can help me with a vacation rental. It brings in $5,000 to $10,000 a month. You get quality leads and they're always hitting you up where you can pick, choose, and refuse what you do with this. So y'all keep sleeping if you want to. But let me touch on the yes scripts because I've been talking a little bit and I want you guys to understand this. Those people who got to go get a bundle, jumped into the yes scripts. Here's just people who are using the yes scripts and finding hella success with it. You know, like I show you reviews on top of reviews. I always try to let the people speak for them. I can say one thing, but you know, I always feel like the words from other people mean more. So this is also me using the yes script and getting like a yes from homeowners, just showing you guys too. There's 4 yes scripts that I have. 2 is for corporate leasing for apartments. 2 is for homes, rental arbitrage. So here's the difference between how you approach a homeowner. Homeowners, you got to think about what makes them tick. I just gave you some of those reasons, right? A homeowner is more concerned about their home being in one piece. You telling them that there is an Airbnb $2 million insurance policy on the home. You telling them that you're going to pay the rent on time. Homeowners are more concerned with you taking care of the houses, whereas apartment rental companies are more concerned with having no vacancies. So if you think about this, apartment rental companies, if you think what was it called? During COVID, when they had apartments were offering you 3 months free, 4 months free. There were some apartments offering 5 months free because they hate when their apartments aren't being rented out. So they're more concerned with vacancy, right? I talk too much. They're more concerned with if nobody's in these apartments, they're not making any money. So what you do is you go to these apartments and you tell them, hey, I would like to rent 4 apartments. Of course, you're not going to rent 4 apartments, but that makes them perk up. That makes them perk up a little bit more because they're seeing that you're coming in for more units, right? So when you tell them that and they give you the yes, you can say, hey, I'm going to start with the 1 unit, right? You can start with the 1 unit. But now, like, you've gotten your yes. You're using the yes scripts to get your yes, right? So what I've always been telling you is the difference. I've been dropping the gems if you were paying attention left and right. Homeowners care about their properties being taken care of, no squatters. Apartments care about you getting more units, you filling their vacancies. Every unit they have that's not rented is a unit that they're not making money on. Okay. So what I do want you guys to do is when you're filtering and looking for properties, do the 60-day filter, because if they're sitting on the market too long, they're more willing to give you that property. But also look for the filter where they're giving you more, where they're saying, hey, I'm going to give you 3 weeks free, 4 weeks free, 5 weeks free, 6 weeks free. Those people are a little bit more desperate to rent to you. All right. We're going to cover another important piece. So Agreements needed for your short-term rental business. If you know nothing about me, I don't play when it comes to my agreement. I told you guys this is what I did when I was in corporate. I wrote agreements, I negotiated agreements. I don't play when it comes to my agreements because this is just the lifeblood of your business. This is the seriousness behind your business. There are 4 agreements that I recommend, and if you guys need mine, they're obviously if you guys need mine, they'll be at the end for those of you who do need it, right? But there's 4 agreements that I recommend you get. Well, one of them you can just get. I just recommend it. I provide them. So a master leasing agreement, very different than a regular leasing agreement when you go out to get properties that you don't own. All right. So a master leasing agreement will also will let you know the difference between what you're doing when it comes to renting an Airbnb and what you're doing when it comes to renting a regular house for yourself. Okay. You can go on places like Rocket Lawyer. When I started, like I said, I'm really picky. When I started, I never used Rocket Lawyer, but I do know that like they are a good like legal service for cheap for those of you who need it. But I wrote my own and then I had my lawyers look at them. Okay. But there's also an STR addendum. This talks about like, third party you being able to share the property on Airbnb, you getting permission. Okay. So for example, if you look at La Amara, she's like, hey, I got 3 yeses today. However, there's a clause about not advertising on Airbnb. What am I to do? I gave her the contract and they said, update, I got a property on Airbnb after all. So that can literally be the difference. An agreement can be the difference for you. Okay. Property management agreement. I don't recommend you give out the property management agreement if you intend to make all the money from this property, right? If you're intending to go to a homeowner to get the property for yourself, don't give them the property management agreement because it literally shows your hand. It shows, how there can be a split between you and a homeowner. You only want to show this to people who you intend to property manage their Airbnb or co-host their Airbnb. Okay? All right? So, damn, I'm moving so fast. Did I tell you guys about going on Co-host Market, where you can go on Co-host Market and if you go on Co-host Market, I'm sorry, you guys. I'm over here moving so dang fast. If you go on cohostmarket.com, you can if you go on cohostmarket.com, you can co-host on people's Airbnb. But do pay attention because some of those listings are outdated. You will need an agreement, and that property management agreement that I provide is what you give them. Paige is calling me out right now. Paige is like, you're moving so fast. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just trying to give you guys all the information as well. Let me tell you. So that's a property management agreement. Yes, Co-host Market. But I also provide a bonus partnership agreement for those people who don't want to partner. So I tell you, I let my students partner with each other because some people might be in a better predicament. Some people might be, able to be the person who's working on the property. Some people want to finance it. And so we have like, what we call, date a bay. Get it? It's like a speed dating, but like we match students together. They can partner. Yeah. I'm corny. Okay, maybe. Anyway, these are the agreements that I provide because I just think that they're pretty important when it comes to just working together. Like I said, it's just important. It's just important. I don't know what other way to talk about this. Okay, so here's me just showing you guys what some student success look like. Here's Emma. Emma is one of my students who charges $500 a night on a property that she doesn't own. She has 2 of them. She wanted 1 for her birthday, ended up getting 2. This is Anna, the student that I talked to you about. She's okay with me sharing that she doesn't have good credit, and she was able to partner with 2 people out in Arizona, and now she has 3 other properties out in she partnered in Nashville, and she has 3 properties in Arizona. So this is why I say, like, guys, don't sleep on partnerships. She has 5 properties now. Okay, Farron is my girl, though. Let me tell you something about Farron. Farron got 5 properties and she hit her first 100K in 8 months. First 100K in 8 months. But for those people who are like, hey, I want to operate out of the country, this is my girl Monique. She's in Morocco. Monique has 2 or 3 properties now, 2 in Morocco or 3 in Morocco and 1 in Greece. Y'all, they get so many properties, I don't even know where they're at. But Monique literally joins like the bi-weekly coaching calls because it is super important to continue to get coaching through it all. Continue to get support on it all. I don't know if this is Monique on the chat, but there is definitely I love when there's like a person who has that name. But guys, let me know. You see how fast I was talking? and I still push past my 1 hour 30 mark, my 2 hour mark. So I say all that to say there's so many things that I can teach you guys. Let me know if you're interested in knowing how you can work with me. I try to jam pack as much as I can with the information and give you all I could. But for those of you guys who want to work with me, you need help, you need your hand held, you need whatever you need, let me know. Drop something in the chat, drop a fire, drop a flower, drop whatever, drop execute, drop something in the chat if you guys want to know how you can continue this, how you can continue like the development. Obviously, you can run and get some things done, but I'm here to support you and everybody that you've seen today, or people that I've supported on this. I'm super passionate about what it is that I do. I don't play when it comes to my knowledge, as you can see. So if you need your hand held, drop something on the chat. Say, girl, stop talking and get to working with me. Stop talking and get to working with me. So I do want to say, though, because I think this is super important, I do have a private community. And before I get there, I just want to show you guys that transparency is super important to me. And I can never be where I am today without transparency. That's how I built Airbnb, by just showing you guys what I've been able to do and showing you guys other people that I've been able to recreate this with. But we do have an article that's writing a story on us, and I want you guys to look out for that. When you see it, share it with me, DM me. So if it's a big publication, but one of the things you don't know is when an article is about to be written on you, you have to prove that you do what you say you do. And so this is a recording that I had to send the lady. I'm going to share it with you guys as well, because I do think that it's pretty important that we continue to be transparent. I know that there's a lot of people on the internet that might not be doing what they say they do. You know what I'm saying? So I always aim to show transparency. So I'm going to share that video with you guys real quick, and then we can get back to the basics. And then I can tell you guys how we can work together.
Hey Sarah, it's Janelle. I just wanted to show you what some of those fact checking details look like from when I first started to when I started scaling. So as you can see, I'm getting payouts of about $116, $698, $252, and so on and so forth. And then, which, is still good. I'm still blessed. You even see a $9.70 right here. But then you see this. Okay, so this is where the transition started to happen, right? Now you're seeing payouts of $1,500, $7,000, but keep watching. Now my standard payouts look like $5,000, $3,000, $1,000, $2,000, $12,000, $3,000, right? $4,000, and we just keep going. $11,000, $2,000. So hopefully this is enough for the article and the publication, and we look forward to it coming out.
All right, guys. So if you do see the article, make sure that you tag me, because you heard it here first. You heard it here first. Okay. All right, let's get back to business. So guys, I've shared so many things on this free presentation tonight, because I want all of you to have the keys and the foundations to success. But here are people that I've worked with. Here's Mike. I'm not the only person who charges $1,000 a night. Mike charges $1,000 a night on his property. Let's see. Sharona, she got $25K in business credit to start up. Anna has 5 properties. Anna doesn't have, good credit. Like I said, she's okay with me sharing it, because when I started, I didn't have good credit. I had a 623 credit score, right? Like I said, I like to be transparent. Danny, though, if you're looking at Danny, she charges $450 a night. I have it at 1 bedroom, but it's actually 2 bedrooms. And she bought land with the profit because she's looking to do one of those unique builds, like the what's that property that I told you about? The guy that has like the fully booked out, 2 years booked out Airbnb. So that's what she's going after. But there's so many crazy people that we've worked with. Like, guys, this is someone who's in my community right now who she makes. You think my prices are crazy, that what I'm doing? She is able to charge $600 a night off of units that are only 300 square feet. She specializes in studio apartments, and she's charging $600 a night off of these apartments. My units don't even look this good, right? I showed you guys earlier what some of my units look like, but she's out here killing it. Literally, we bring in the best of the best people, right? So first and foremost, one of the ways to work with me is Join my group, my coaching calls, right? You got to join my coaching calls. I take my community very, very seriously. And it's so important that you join these coaching calls. Like people, this is where you'll be able to ask live questions. This is people on these coaching calls. We literally just had a $2 million co-host, 2.5, he corrected me, $1 million co-host on this coaching call. Okay. People who are literally coming in and dropping gems, right? But I give out a $5,000 scholarship every 8 weeks to a student who is continuing to try, ask questions, right? You literally, all you have to do is what you were going to do anyway, which is continuing to ask questions. So in this 5K scholarship, and by the way, one of the reasons why I give out this 5K scholarship is when I started, somebody gave me 5K and I vowed to give it out every 8 weeks. Right when I made it. So I give out a 5K scholarship, which means that I waive your property locating. I find the property for you. I give you $2K in furnishing budget, and then you have a 1-hour mentorship with me. We've already had 2 people that won it. One was Venice, and the other girl is Erin. I showed you Erin a little bit earlier, where she got some business credit, right? But yeah, it's literally money, me giving out money for incentivizing people for what they were going to do anyway, right? And if it doesn't get any better than that, I have a roster of skilled experts like the funding expert. He has over 500,000 in business credit. 500,000. Now I don't teach $500,000 worth of business credit, but I do teach, the amount that you need to get started. Okay. I have someone in here that's the home approval expert. She's the one that gets people approved for 500 credit score with a 500 credit score. Okay. We have a property manager on here. He's a remote property manager, meaning that I don't care where you're from. If you just want to get the Airbnb and make this real passive and he manages the property for you, he can do that. But we also have a realtor expert that can help you find the property. She knows what every single one of my home-based properties look like, and she can tell you what you need to put into this property. Okay. We also have the location data expert. So that tool that I told you that is a community exclusive, he's the one that built it. This guy is, when I tell you he's smart, never be the smartest person in the room. Always have people around you who are smarter. Okay. And now we have our interior designing expert. She is dope. She is dope, 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 dope. Okay. All right. So the way to be able to work with me is by joining all these students that you saw earlier. They joined the Airbnb Academy. It's called the Everything B&B program. I talk to you for 2 hours straight and you see how fired up I am. I take everything that I do very, very seriously. It teaches you, it has 8 different modules with over 60 videos. It teaches you how to start your B&B journey and everything, like everything database. It tells you, welcome to the Airbnb community. So all those people that you saw, you'll be their peers in this community of my elite students. You can partner with them. You can talk to them. You can work with them, right? Number 3, learn how to start a legitimate B&B business and access funds. I show you step-by-step on how to do that. Number 4, how to get a B&B without owning property. I teach you 7 different ways to do this. Number 5, I give you 10 different methods for purchasing your B&B, whether you have good credit or you have no down payment. I show you how to get that, right? I show you how you can use these programs to get this. I also teach you number 6, how to list and get bookings. There's an optimal way to list and get bookings where you are on the front page of Airbnb all the time, right? Number 7, I teach you my pricing strategies. This is what people go after, okay? All the time. This is what people are after me for. And number 8, how to manage your properties and other properties if you just want to property manage Airbnbs. I teach you how to do all of that, guys. All of it, okay? And the way to be able to work with me, actually, let me show you the curriculum because it took me 8 months to build this. 8 months. 8 months. And I just want to show y'all that I don't play. If you think this was anything, look at this curriculum, okay? Let me show you this really quickly. Let me just show you how loaded this is. This section is only one module. That's only one module. It teaches you the 10 best platforms to list on. It teaches you everything. If you have no cash, take this route, right? How to build business credit in 90 days, 7 ways to find your B&B. Like, this is literally only 4 modules, and you're already looking at like 30 videos. I give you my handouts, every single thing that you need to run the business, right? Every single thing, like guys, I take my time when it comes to education because I know how important it is. And this is why I say execution is such a vital step to this business. I can give you everything that you need, but it's up to you to execute it. But don't worry, right? because the community will hold your hand to get there. We'll support you to get there. So in the Everything B&B course, there's the Everything course, which is over 60 videos that you can pause and play at any time that you want to. You can watch it at work, like I used to look up jobs when I was at work. You can join the Airbnb Academy, where you can partner with us. You can join our coaching calls, ask questions. We're there for you. This is where you'll be entered in for the scholarship. You want to be the third person for the scholarship. All you got to do is participate, ask questions like you were going to do anyway. This is the roster, people who you can literally reach out to in the community. Ask them a question on the community, they'll answer it, right? But they also have their own services where you can just reach out to them if you need to work with them separately. But more than anything, let me tell you guys about our property locators. My property locators find 50 to 100 approved B&Bs per week, right? And can find your Airbnbs where you don't even have to go out and talk to homeowners. You don't even have to do any of that. They give you access to a dashboard of approved properties. All you have to do is swipe right and swipe left like Tinder and pick the property that you want to reach out to the homeowner on, right? So we're already giving you a dashboard of properties that are already approved. They do have a separate service, but the fact is only my students, only people in my academy get connected with them, get to work with them, right? You get all of my agreements. I paid a ton of money for each of my agreements, but you don't have to, guys. You don't have to. I do this for those people who take themselves seriously and people who do need the extra help, right? Here's my profit calculator that I talked about earlier. You're getting that. You're getting all of my yes scripts, all 4 of them, what to say to homeowners and what to do to make sure that conversation goes well. But you're also getting all of my checklists as well. Every single checklist, how you can screen your guests, what the property should look like before you list it on Airbnb, all of that, guys, every single one of that. And the price is normally $5K, but I dropped it for the first 30 people for a fraction of the price. Literally a fraction. So I just went ahead and published that. So there's going to be 30 spots, and the first 30 of you are going to get it for a fraction of the price, literally less than half of that. So jump in and see what that price is, and you guys will be able to grab the spots and fill them up. So 30 spots, jump in, let me know. Let me know if you want to work with me. I know there's a lot of people saying that they want to execute. Let's get to it. Roll up your sleeves and let's get to working. It is just what it is, right? Hold on. I see someone saying they can't see the link. Guys, drop your questions, by the way, in the, you're sending them private, but I can only see them if they are, well, I can see them private, but everybody else wants to see what your questions are too. So there are 30 spots. Well, I don't know how many spots there are now, but they usually go very quickly. So by the way, this course, one of the reasons why I tell people about this course and to build their business is you can get this course for free by writing off the cost of this course. A lot of my students are doing it. This is a business write-off, which means that it costs you nothing to come into the community. There's also a 10-day money-back guarantee. I'm so sure that you will be successful from trying this course, from taking action from this course, that I'm giving you a 10-day money-back guarantee on this course, literally putting my money where my mouth is. Guys, literally, for the first 30 people, stop playing with me, okay? The 5K scholarship, I give that out every single 8 weeks. You're getting all these documents for literally less than, I don't know, is that even like 20% of the price? 30%? Less than what it normally costs, way less for the 30 people, okay? All right, so let me see. So I know people are asking me, do I have, what is it? Do I have payment plan? So I have, so I prefer, people who use PayPal credit, they have more success. So I recommend checking out the PayPal credit option for those of you who do need a little bit more support. However, there is also Klarna and Afterpay, but those do go based off of like you. So I recommend the PayPal credit, as it's like most people are successful off of the PayPal credit. Okay. So let me see. I see a ton of people who are already getting in. Shout out to you. I literally have a screen where I can see you coming in. But questions that you guys are asking me, the course, you can play it back at any time, and then you request the community to come in. That's where the real fun begins. Like, the course is your information. You keep the course forever. The community is also forever. Okay. You come in the community, you're a bay, you're a community bay forever. Every single student that you've seen, they are a community bay. They work, we literally get on coaching calls, they ask questions, they get support along the way. Everything that I've taught you today, you can run and, go try and listen. I've given you so much information, you can run and go try it. But if you feel like you want to fast track your success, if you feel like you need more support, if you feel like you want to be around like-minded people, if you feel like you want to win a 5K scholarship, if you feel like you want to partner with people, if you feel like, hey, I want some agreements, right? Can I have the agreements? This is where you'll be able to access all of this within the academy. And I've marked it down literally for the first 30 people. Guys, get to it. I know a lot of you told yourself, hey, I'm going to execute. I promised myself I was going to do this. There's people who are coming in and making this money back within 3 days from their Airbnb, right? So you might see this number and you're thinking like, hey, okay, I forgot what the price is. You guys can go ahead and click on it. However, there's people coming in and making this back. Literally, there'll be people like, hey, made back the money in my course. Like there's people posting about it. Made back the money in my course. It moves that fast. I show you people getting, even if you come in and get business credit of 10K, 30K, there's people in there getting business credit for 50K, whatever it is that you need. But there's a 10-day money back guarantee, as well as a scholarship that you can win. Plus you can write off the course for tax purposes. Yeah, you guys would be crazy if you don't. There is an IRS rule where if a course helped you to start your business, even if your business is already registered, you can write it off. But for me, foundationally, I tell you guys, like if you're coming in and you're going to start a business, get this product. Also, for those of you who guys are going to start a business, I do recommend staying away from certain business names because a lot of them are red flags. Okay? A lot of them are red flags, like anything that has investments at the end, or if you say, hey, Bay Real Estate, that's a red flag. It can give you an issue when it comes to funding. Something trucking is an issue. So you don't want to go that route. However, if you come into the community, we actually help people choose their business name. So if you put on the community, what you're thinking, all of us, we vote on it for you. All of us, we vote on it for you. So you literally have the support. And literally, I don't know how to say this, but I can't say that. It sounds cocky when you say I have the best community. But guys, when I tell you my students are the best students in the world, they make the community the best. So it's not even just me, it's them. Like they are so helpful. They are so willing to support you. Like they are, I don't know how to, literally, I showed you Shanna earlier saying, hey, Aaron, you did this, so I'm going to do it too. They're literally best friends. People are finding their business partners, best friends, whatever within the community. Right? So I say, listen, if you need to work with a realtor to get a home for a 500 credit score, if you want to work with the property locators and you need you need their contact, only my students get this perk. I try to set people up for success. I wish I had these when I was starting because I wouldn't have been a 7-figure host. I probably would have been an 8-figure host at this point. Okay. So for those of you who need the hand holding, like I said, all of it, you get all of this today by joining the academy. And your ticket into the academy is these 30 spots that I'm dropping right now. Okay. I don't know how many spots are left. I usually can't see. Assistant Bay is on here. That's my assistant, by the way, you guys. Make sure that you or somebody let me know how many spots are available right now. Drop it. See, I'm trying to look at the questions. Oh, and by the way, for some of you guys, if you're going to be doing Airbnb all over, I do recommend looking into a foreign LLC, a foreign entity LLC, where you can do Airbnb in multiple different places with a foreign entity LLC. Okay? So just something to think about before you go ahead and get started. All right. Oh, I see some people saying they can't see the spots. Sorry, you guys. Let me try to figure out how to. I'm gonna also post it. Can people drop the link? There's people are saying they can't see it. Somebody drop the link for me. Somebody be a helpful Bay and drop the link for me. All right. And if there's 5, Assistant Bay, can you update the spots and add like 7 more? Because I wasn't thinking that it was gonna move so fast. Just add 7 more or something. 5, 6 more. Okay. Let let me put in the, all right, some people are saying they can't see the, I don't know why they can't see the link. Here, I'm going to put it at the top as a sticky note. Thank you, Jamisa, or Jamesa. Here, I'm sorry. Assistant Bay, just add a couple more spots for people who need it. Also, I did see a lot of people saying that they if they were going to get the replay, and some people saying, what if they can't grab it right now? I would say this. There's a lot of people who reached out to me saying that they can't grab their spot right now. Not that they can't grab their spot right now, that they will be at work. And we need to send them the replay. So I'm actually going to give everybody the replay, and there's going to be 10 spots available when we send out the replay. 10 spots. So if you are, even though those are for people who didn't join, I would say just make sure that you grab one of the 10 spots. It's first come, first serve when we send out the replay. So you can literally just pick, if you're catching it first, just grab one of the spots. Okay. The replay will be sent out tomorrow or tomorrow, I believe. Tomorrow. Don't quote me for tonight. All right. Okay. All right. So we do have a 10. Yeah. See that we're almost filling it. Can you guys drop the link in the chat for me? I see a lot of people saying that they can't see. Oh, shout out to Monique. Thank you, Monique, for dropping the link. Regina, for dropping the link. I appreciate you. Guys, this is going to be monumental. I'm telling you, roll up your sleeves because listen, we don't play. Roll up your sleeves and let's get ready to go. Literally, like I don't even know what to say, to be honest with you. You will see the experience when you come into the community for yourself, especially when you come in on the coaching calls. And actually do hurry up and come in, because we do have to approve your request to get into the community to make sure that you've make sure that you can attend the coaching calls. Okay. And there are a lot of coaching calls that are in there that are already recorded. So like our $2.5 million co-host that came in last week, that call is recorded for you. Wait until you see all the gems that's in there. That man literally owns no properties and he's making $2.5 million. I tell you, I'm not the smartest person in the room there. I just try to make sure that they're all around me because we can all learn from each other. All right. Let's see. All right, guys. I'm over in the Q&A section, so I'm going to answer some questions. You guys go over in the Q&A section and start dropping some questions. Yeah, let's go. Shakoria said, how do I join the coaching calls? So the coaching calls are offered for people who join the academy. So what you'll do is once you're going through the academy, I believe it's the first module, it will give you a module that there's a module that shows you how to request the community, and we'll go in and verify you and add you into the community. Okay. So that's how you join. Oh, and by the way, for those of you who join in the academy, you will get an automatic email, right? And you also get a phone call from me welcoming you to the academy. So yes, exciting stuff. I'm really, really excited to have you guys in, but make sure that you're paying attention to Teachable. You're going to get an email either from Teachable. Some people move fast when they're grabbing the spots, so they put their emails in incorrectly. If you did put your emails incorrectly, this is my email. It's support@sevenfigurehost.com. Reach out to me as well, okay? And if you also do need like a payment plan, if you're trying the payment plan and it's not working for you, reach out to me and we can figure out how to get you some help. Like, I don't know, if it's not working out for you, we can get you some help as well. The other thing I will say is, these are just reviews. These are people talking about the program. Like I've showed you throughout the whole presentation, there's people just working and finding success. Here's Eurydice that said, I took the notes during the course and, I went step by step. Airbnb, you did a good job with the course. It's foolproof. LOL, it wasn't boring or overwhelming. Here's Relisha, super nervous. She said, I'm so nervous right now. She got started and she has her first Airbnb booking for 15 nights. You do the math, for 15 nights, right? Here's Jen and her husband. They're making $1,500 a night on their property, right? She's about to scale to $2,500 a night. $2,500 a night off of a property that she does not own, that I taught her a secret hack to go out and go get. All right. So here's Alyssa. She's already an Airbnb host. And she reached out to me and she's like, hey, that hack that you taught me, I got a very next booking the next day, a 10-day booking. Okay. Paid the bills. pay the bills. That's what we go after. Here's Shonda, who I showed you guys earlier. She came in, and right after she lists, she got a 4-day booking. I try to show my students how to optimize their listings, but also how to just really, really make money and scale up from Airbnb. So these are, guys, that the ball is in your court. The ball is in your court. You can run and do this, and I've given you so much information. I promised I was only going to be on for 90 minutes, and I presented to you for 2 hours. So, but for those of you who took the time to invest in yourselves, I'm super excited. Okay, super, super excited. So let's get to work. You need my help. We can make sure that, as I said, I'll be your accountability partner. There's people in the community who are going to be watching you being your accountability partner. It's just going to be a fun time. Okay, so let me see. So, all right, guys, I'm over in the Q&A section for those of you who need questions asked. Okay. All right. So, Patty said, do you give out the Thumbtack code? So the Thumbtack contact is in the program itself. So that's why I said it's going to be offered at the end for those people who do need it. The Thumbtack information is within the academy. So for those of you who need it, it's in the academy. Sign up. All that is for people who are joining the academy. So let's see. Lotus said, I really want your course, but I can't afford it right now. Shoot me an email. And we'll figure out how we can get you some help. The email is support@sevenfigurehost.com. All right. Ooh, guys, I got a little bit of a headache. And my students are usually on me. Just wait until you join the community. Let's see. Will you be sharing the exclusive community? I have. What you guys didn't notice is that the community, all those people who were showing you what they're doing, they're from the community. They're all from the community getting things done. So all of those people will be your peers. All right. All of those people will be your peers. Let me see. Somebody say, get some water. Yes, I need some water. I've been talking too much. Someone said, what's the email? Let me move over to the screen and show it to you. It's support@sevenfigurehost.com. I don't know how many spots are left. Someone's asking how many spots are left. I don't know. But do remember, we're going to send out the replay, and there's going to be 10 spots for you guys. Okay? 10. Okay? So those are for people who didn't get to attend. However, if you do get the replay, it would be smart to be one of the first to grab it. All right. Okay. So I'm going to move over to what we call the Go-Getter bundle for those people who need it. I see a lot of people who are asking for the other 3 or 2 spots that's left. Anybody can go ahead and grab it. I say, save the link. I'm going to drop the link again. Okay. Let me put it as a sticky message. I'm going to save the link. And you can grab the last 2-3 spots whenever. If it lets you purchase, then obviously it'll let you join the academy. But I'm going to put up the Go-Getter bundle. This bundle has the profit calculator. It has 7 ways to find properties, and it also has the yes scripts as well. So I'm going to put that up for those people who do need it. Okay. All right. So go ahead and grab it if you need it. So Jazzy said, may I have the replay? Yes, Jazzy, it'll be sent out ideally tomorrow. Amira said, how long does it take through the academy? How long does it take for the academy to come through? It'll be an automatic email. So all you have to do from Teachable. So search your spam, your junk, all of that. Okay. And obviously if you have any issues logging in, my assistants work tomorrow from 9 to 5. I think 9 to 5 tomorrow, 8 to 12 Tuesday, but they'll be the ones reaching out to you. Or they'll be the ones helping you if you need access to your course. Let me see. I've attended your live 3 times and she's in. Shout out to you. That's what you call commitment. All right. Absolutely. Let me see. Okay. All right, guys, I'm answering questions. I see a lot of you are asking the same questions, so I just don't want to duplicate them, but I'm here. I'm trying to check. A lot of you are asking for my email. It's support@sevenfigurehost.com. All right. Jessica said, guys, did you enjoy the presentation? Seriously, let me know. Did you enjoy the presentation? For those of you guys who, actually, I know that there's a lot of people who joined halfway in. Did you guys enjoy the presentation? For those of you who did join the academy, do not worry. Like, listen, just get some good sleep because we're getting ready to put in some work. Okay, get some good sleep. Nice. Darrell said he loved it. Timothy said yes, absolutely. Yes. Ty Sheree, I hope I said your name properly. Said yes, it was everything. Erica said yes. Thank you guys. Thanks for the feedback. So my goal is always to help you understand how you can do this business a little bit more lucratively, a little bit more advanced, right? So, and by the way, there's things that I teach that you will not find online, right? You will not find online, you will not find on Google because as I said, I call myself a strategist, right? There's base knowledge that you might find online, but then I try to take things up a notch to bring to my students to let them see like, hey, I'm trying this and it worked. I'm passing it over to you guys to try it. It worked for me.